Sure.
Take it our question.
Yeah. I believe I am someone who relies on my knowledge, and I have an irritating behavior or, habit of always wanting to learn something. That's why if you look at the people I follow, it's people like yourselves. People are always sharing some knowledge. With me, I always want to learn. I work at the university. We can change the script now and talk about AI, we'll talk. We can change the script, talk about mental health, we'll have that conversation. Change it. I love, that's what I do.
How can people use AI to equip themselves? The other day, I can tell you, on your WhatsApp, you can have a therapy session with AI there. And you guys don't know.
You can.
You can actually ask AI even questions related to your business, your heartbreak, everything. And AI will tell you.
It will give it to you.
So how can people use AI as a tool?
To recover from heartbreaks?
Yes.
No, it's AI is a wealth of information anyway. You can use it for almost anything these days. Would I say go and use it? Not necessarily, because it's not emotionally intelligent. So you're dealing with matters that affect your mind. I would rather say, book a professional. There's a Dr. Vakej, speak to that man, because he can interact with you on a human level. AI will give you machine responses. It can help you take this, scale it and make it better. But there you don't need emotion.
Yeah, but even the emotions, I enjoyed talking to AI the other day. I'm being honest, that there was a time where I was feeling somehow. I was missing my mother, and I was like, let me talk to AI. Then I went on WhatsApp, and AI was chatting back. And I know it's a machine, right? But the responses felt very human. Do you get my point? Because there are certain things that one can go through that are very private, that maybe you don't want to share with anyone.
Yeah.
But some of us also have this thing. You mustn't envy this thing of being popular. Sometimes you don't want to go to a therapist because you're wondering, I wonder where my news will land. Yeah.
People don't understand, like, being popular. Hey, this thing. Hey, being popular, guys. Yeah.
It's a blessing, and it's also
definitely a blessing and a curse.
Well, you understand? So there will be certain things where you're like, I don't want to tell my friends. I don't want to talk to anyone. But I want an outlet to vent. So I was basically testing it, honestly. I'm like, hey, AI, what's going on with 1, 2, 3? And he responded. Afterwards, I'm like, yeah, smart responses. Maybe it's because I might be more inclined to be intellectual than emotional. I don't know.
It's not necessarily incorrect. It actually understands human emotion from a point of how it was programmed, because it programs itself with information that it finds on the internet. So most studies or patterns that they study in psychology, or they package them, and all of that is also available for AI to exhaust. So because of that, it can give you responses that relate to you. But what happens when you start crying? You understand? So now you need someone who can explain. You are crying. Now that thing can't even see that you're crying. It will continue to respond.
But aren't you going to say, hey, I am crying now?
And it says, stop crying. Stop crying. We are lucky that there's still a struggle to get, AI to be programmed in, African perspective. Because otherwise it will be tell you that, stop crying. You are lucky you don't get that.
So when now you trace back and look at what you've given yourself, because I asked you about the tools that you use, and you said one of the tools that you use is knowledge and education. At what point did you realize that these are the tools that are going to work for you?
If I say to you, there was a moment where I had a knowing that, the knowledge is what is working for me, I would be lying. You see, with knowledge, you don't necessarily feel it when it happens that, this is happening because I read this book. You just see in the application. And that's why it's very important as people to be socially intelligent as well. Because then you can deal with situations, not just applying what you've learned academically, but mixing a lot of things. Emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and the books that you've read, they also help you make decisions. So it's a collection of things for me. It's not one thing that I'm like, because I read, therefore. So there are certain things people will say, and I'll say this. One time I made a video, went viral, because I said to people, your ancestors do not love the person that you're in love with. Your ancestors, because now this is where social intelligence applies quickly. Your ancestors, and then I'm like, there are people who don't recognize ancestors, but I create for everybody. Then I'm like, your angels or God, everyone now is covered. They love their deeds.
For the universe, people.
Exactly, you understand? They love how they treat you. They are not in love with them. You can be in love with witness, but your ancestors don't care about those things. And this one now, it comes also from a spiritual place, because if I have to say something like this, it will be heavy on me for a couple of weeks. Then I know I have a strong message that I need to communicate. And when I spoke about that, I was essentially highlighting that sometimes a lot of people, they're struggling in their lives because they are forcing to keep someone who does not belong in their space. So there are certain things you can work for very hard and achieve them, but certain things, they are a blessing from your lineage, your ancestors. So those things, witness, if your house is not in order, your ancestors will not open those things for you.
Have you ever been in a position where you were dating someone or you were married to someone and that person is gone and doors just open?
Exactly. That's what I was talking about in the video. That the moment you leave someone, you understand? That's what I was talking about. The moment you leave this person, your things started to make sense. You're like, my money is starting to seem like money. You know, this money was not money, man. Yeah. You know that thing? Well, even your finances, like, you are here because you're like, I earn well, I should be able to invest. But then you are in this relationship that is keeping you miserable. Even your money is just a flop because you are forcing to keep someone your ancestors have turned their back against. And that there's a price to pay. That's why I said on that video, your ancestors are very patient. They will skip you. They can even skip your children. They don't mind skipping a whole generation. And then they will bless your grandchildren, because when you are crazy, you are forcing to keep a toxic person in your life.